Papermaker Kimberly-Clark is looking for quick action on a state incentive package to help it stay in the Fox Valley. KC has plans to close 2 Wisconsin plants, but would keep one of them open if the state Senate approves a $100 million incentive package. Governor Walker wants the Senate to call itself back into session and vote on the incentive package already passed by the Assembly.
It's consumer goods. It's a growing part of the industry. We want very much for them to be in the state of Wisconsin.
Kimberly-Clark has set a September 30th deadline for action, but the package faces an uncertain future in the Senate. With 2 Republican senators having now come out against it, Governor Walker says Democratic votes will be needed to pass it. We're talking now with Republican Senate President Roger Roth of Appleton, who supports the incentive package. He's at our Green Bay affiliate, WBAY TV. President Roth, thanks very much for being with us. And let me ask you about that September 30th deadline. Do you feel the Senate has to act by September 30th?
Well, I feel that the Senate needs to act quickly, and I've been saying from the beginning that I'm calling to bring the Senate in as quickly as possible when those votes are secure to pass this. I will tell you that at no time in this process, from when the company made its initial decision on January 31st, a few days later, Governor Walker and myself introduced a bill, as you know, to offer those tax incentives to them. But we didn't put a deadline or a time frame on that. We wanted the company to be able to work with the union, which they have done. And in the negotiation process that they came forward with, they didn't have a deadline on there either. I do understand the business world. I understand that Kimberly-Clark wants a decision so that they can continue to move forward with their processes. But I just am working with them, continuing to work with them to see if we can find some flexibility there in the case that we aren't able to secure enough Democrat votes before that September 30th deadline.
Republicans obviously have the majority in the Senate. Why haven't you been able to find support for this legislation amongst your fellow Republicans?
Well, if you look back at big tax incentive packages in the history of our state, we've always done them with bipartisan support. We had bipartisan support with Governor Doyle there in working with Mercury Marine down in Fond du Lac. You have the Bucks Arena was passed with both Republicans and Democrats. Foxconn in the legislature was passed with both Republicans and Democrats. So I don't think it's too much to ask that in a scenario like this where we're trying to save 500 good family supporting union jobs that again Republicans and Democrats come together. That's just the simple fact is that it's not going to pass if Democrats don't come to the table. And in any other circumstance, if this scenario had unfolded a year ago or a year from now, I think everyone recognizes that this would have been a done deal already. It's just the political environment that we find ourselves in right now. So I'm just pleading with Democrats to do what's right here. You know, the company, myself, would be willing to give anyone a tour of this facility if they saw what they do here, the kind of products that they make and the technology that is involved here. This is really making a decision to support an industry, an anchor industry that will be in Wisconsin for generations to come if we can make this deal a reality here, either before the September 30th deadline, but if we're not able to before that, I'm continuing to work to see with the company if we have flexibility to do this outside of an election cycle.
You're pleading with Democrats. I assume you're also pleading with fellow Republicans to support this. How many Democratic votes are you going to need?
Well, working with, I think we have significant support in the Republican caucus right now. I think looking from the Democrat side, they've got to show something. It's been 50 days since Kimberly-Clark in the union have come up and made their end of the agreement here. 50 days, and the Democrats haven't even caucused yet. So I'm just, I'm asking Senator Schilling, myself, Senator Fitzgerald, I've got members, union members who work at this company who are emailing and calling on a daily basis. It's time for them to stand and say, are they going to bring any votes to the table? And we haven't seen anything yet. We haven't seen anything from them yet that says that they're willing to work together to save these good-paying union jobs. Senator
Kapenga was on this program, one of your Republican colleagues, not too long ago, talking about this deal, and he said, Foxconn was different. Foxconn is transformational. Kimberly-Clark is a company that's in an industry that is shrinking. This is not the same kind of deal, and so he just simply could not support it. Now I see that Senator Noss is feeling much the same way. How do you convince them, or have you just given up trying to convince them that they should change their mind on this?
No, not at all. I will tell you, I agree. Foxconn was transformational for the state, and I'm encouraging them to come up and tour this facility too. You know, people look at Kimberly-Clark and they think that this is a paper mill. They think that this is a company that's making buggy whips in the age of the automobile. When the reality is, if you come and look at this facility, and this is the one place in North America where they make adult incontinence products, so those are things like Depends diapers, they make a lot of feminine care products. If you come and tour this facility, you're going to find out that this is the company that is at the cutting edge of technology right now. What they are looking to do here, this just isn't about the jobs at Kimberly-Clark and Casey today. This is about the investment. Kimberly-Clark is looking to do a potential $500 million of investment at this facility over the next 15 years. So we are setting the stage to have Kimberly-Clark, an anchor industry, an anchor company within an anchor industry here in our state, have a presence here for generations to come. That's why it's so important that we come together and pass this. This is just like Foxconn.
Very briefly, are you concerned, though, that this is, again, precedent, that you're going to have other major companies in the state of Wisconsin coming to the state and saying, you need to help us, we'd like to stay here, but you're going to have to help us in order for that to happen? Are you worried that we're now heading down a slippery slope?
No, I don't think so. This is a case where with Foxconn you had a governor step out and said, you know what, I think it's important to the state that we offer terms outside of what WDC can on their own authorize. And I think Kimberly-Clark was just that. You had a governor who was willing to come forward and say that this is so important to the Fox Valley, to Northeast Wisconsin, and the state of Wisconsin as a whole, that we're going to come and offer these terms. It would take a governor coming forward and making that. So the answer to that question is, if you had a future governor who thought it rose to that level, you could do it, but no state legislature on their own could go and get a bill like this passed through the legislature.
Roger Roth is a Republican from Appleton. He is the Senate president. We appreciate your time today. Thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Coming up next on Upfront, why is Governor Walker struggling so far with a group of voters he's carried in past elections?